Testing, testing. Alright, that'll do. I don't know what that weird static scratching noise is, but oh well. Actually, maybe I do. Anyway, hello everyone. My name's Ethonra. Greetings. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. So, we're starting here because there was something I wanted to show off. You all don't have to believe me, but I wish you would, because you all know how it works. I've already been here before, at night, so I knew it was going to be foggy. I was hoping it'd be morning, or maybe dawn or dusk, but because it's me, of course it isn't. But yeah, this is how the hot springs look at night. But the reason why we're starting here is because I mentioned before how you can find some of the scions just chilling out in random areas. Remember these two? I thought it was really cool running into them. I think I knew they were here, but I forgot. Then I remembered again once I found them. A recurring theme you will notice in this stream, by the way. Yeah, you gotta admire that adventurous spirit. Probably the strongest out of all of us. The dude's gotta be like 99 years old, but he's still out here adventuring. Well, I mean, I guess without all the steam, it is pretty lovely. Also, something else I wanted to share. Let's see. I won't take too long on this. I was farming for triple triad. Yeah, I found it. Farming for triple triad cards. If you read this one really quickly, it actually mentions Rods at Han, but this card came out in Stormblood. So from that far back, if not farther, Rods at Han was mentioned. I thought that was another neat detail. That kind of goes in what I was saying last time about how it's nice when they mention certain things earlier, then you encounter them later. That's a good example of that. Okay, so let's actually get into the crux of what this stream is about. I mentioned before, you can read that right there real quick. I mentioned before that I wanted to do this. Samurai, the job quest, is one of, if not the first job quest I wanted to record back when I got really into doing these. But I couldn't, because by the time I was able to, or thought to do it, or whatever shenanigan had happened, I was pretty much at the end of the level 50 part. So we thankfully can rectify that now, thanks to the New Game Plus feature. So that's what we're going to do. I was going to do this Saturday, but I took so long in making up my mind about it that ultimately I decided to do it Sunday. But then I thought, no, I probably should do it Saturday because Samurai, Saturday, S-A, it seemed more appropriate. But like I said, by the time I made up my mind, it was too late. Then on Sunday, I was going to do it, but I got too distracted watching Raptor-chan videos about her things on Endwalker. She's very funny YouTuber. Very cute moments whenever Estinian or Graha is involved. You'll see what I mean. If you know, you know. I'd recommend checking her out. You won't be disappointed. Especially if you watch her play through the second to newest dungeon, the one with the vault. The vault one. Not the vault. Not the one from Heaven's Word. This one. Al-Zadal's Legacy. So yeah, I'm wearing my clippy outfit again. The more I have Zio wear it, the less it bothers me. Also, I figured it'd be a good time to talk about some of the samurai stuff I do and don't like. So yeah, he retold that story pretty well, I'd like to say. Oh, right. Got to make sure I stay on top of the journal. So something else I want to point out real quick is, for those with keen eyes, you probably noticed I named this stream Memento Samurai. As I said, I plan to relive some of the story quests. Samurai, it was a tie between Samurai and Dark Knight, if I'm being honest, but I just hate what they've done to Dark Knight so much, and the Samurai story really did mean a lot to me, so I decided to run with it. But yeah, the reason why I call them mementos is because memento essentially means memory. And I plan to name my series that when it comes to replaying old content, like what I plan to do eventually for Dark Knight, or maybe even the actual A Realm Reborn story, but that one's going to be put off for a while because I need to know how long it'll be before the next expansion. Or not next expansion, next patch. I don't want to start on that and then like 2 days later the new patch comes out. So say for example, once Endwalker finishes and we don't get any new updates for it for like, I don't know, 3 months or something like that, then yeah, that'd probably be a really good time to start. But otherwise, also give me a second, I need to fix the quality on my video. It's at 144p. You know, the quality so low it legitimately excuse me, it legitimately makes your eyesight worse. So let's bump that up back to 720. Yeah, man, I love this story so much. I can't wait for us to really get into it. Obviously, my reaction's not going to be fresh. One, because I don't even remember how I reacted to most of it. And two, is I'm not all about that. I'm not going to fake a reaction. I'll just pretty much tell you how I reacted, if I can remember. But I do know I love the Samurai story. It's my, like I said, story-wise, especially, like, all of Samurai, I love. So I guess technically Samurai is higher than Dark Knight. But from level, I think it's 30, no, what does Dark Knight start at? I want to say 30 to 50. Wherever it starts, it's really good. Oh, look at that. New Samurai. That's cool. Yeah, Murasai is awesome. Fun fact about him is the uniform he's wearing, the signature samurai garb. I didn't know that he had actually dyed his back when doing the story quest, like the Dragoon, Estinian, or the Warrior, Gorge, the Paladin, I forgot his name. All of them had the default armor on. It was the exact same color as the one you get, but not Murasai's. I believe that was the first time I ever noticed that, so that was a fun detail for me when that revelation hit me, at least. I would have sat down on the floor with him, but oh well. Right. So let me go ahead and say this now before I forget this as well. This actually is not quite related to Samurai, though it kind of is in a funny way. Do y'all remember back in Endwalker how I complained about how they were using Xenos' thing far too often, even when he wasn't on screen? Shockingly, I was wrong about that. It turns out that isn't a little embarrassed that I got that wrong. So, sorry, Endwalker, not everything is your fault. However, with the same breath, I do want to say Endwalker is still guilty for reusing too many things and poor remixes. But yeah, so I've been known about that for like a couple of days. I just now decided to mention it before I completely forgot again. What else did I want to say? I guess it'll probably occur to me while we're fighting. Oh, wait, hold on, before I forget. Musosai. I think that's how you say his name. That's how I'm going to be saying it. Musosai. But yeah, he's my favorite. Again, it's kind of hard to say, man. I want to say he's my favorite mentor, but again, Dark Knight Story Quest is just so good. The first, like I said, I believe you do start at level 30, so level 30 to 50 is just amazing. Genuinely one of the best stories in the game because, well, when I stream it, you'll see. The clipping. What's so bad about that is it doesn't have to be that way, because in certain cutscenes when she's walking slow, like the generic slow walking animation, not the one that she used there, it's like a universal one that all the races have in certain cutscenes, it doesn't clip, so they could have done better, they just didn't. I do hate that he used that sword, because back in the day, when level 50 was the cap, that was actually my favorite sword. I love the design. I even had an old friend specially make one for me. I believe I still have it. It should be in my glamour chest. Dresser. Ah, so cool. I'm glad I get this chance to show you guys all the cutscenes. Also, the fight with Musosai is interesting. Well, you'll see. There's not no real point really telling you about it since you're about to see. So you can see the thing I was talking about, how it's interesting, is how he barely tries. That's that little trick I told you guys about, how to get a Mutra, not Mutra, I'm thinking it's Ninja. I forgot what these things are called. But that's how I do to get one early. Kind of put it in the queue, then release them all, then just fire off something basic. Oh, nice. I'm glad that ended it there. That's so cool. Something I also want to mention about Zeal's sword is it's a scorpion tail design. Those of you who know me know why that's a big deal. Pretty nice diss. Musosai didn't mean it that way, but I like it. It's like gentle aggressiveness. A term I just coined. I guess passive aggressiveness also already exists. But again, he didn't do that on purpose. He was just saying it like it is. She's up for it. Alright. I guess I should mention this now because there's no telling if I'll forget or remember later. But samurai have only one defensive ability, third eye. They actually nerfed it, and I'm not sure why. I can kind of understand the damage now, even though I said, you know, just give the enemies more health, or the bosses rather. I think that still kind of balances out. But third eye used to, in addition to believing negating damage, more importantly, it gave you some health back. It's just always nice. Free heal is always good. The thing I wish it did now is similar to what it does in PvP. I have not played PvP as a samurai, but just in case I ever decided to do it, or my FC does it and I feel like participating, I went ahead and went practice on some dummies. Samurai has a lot of fun moves, and one of them essentially works like third eye. I love how that combo ends, by the way. One of them essentially works like third eye, where I believe it's basically like Ravana's Seeing Wings, actually, where they attack you, you essentially parry it, so you take less damage, and then not only do you take less damage, but they also receive damage. Yeah, he's loves his money, doesn't he? Typical of a Lalafell from Ul'dah, but just bear that in mind. Now, what else was I going to comment on? Oh, I know. Technically, I could have done it while fighting Musosai, but I wasn't thinking. I'll try to do it next time we fight something. Ah, I remember now. Stones below. The man just said what it was called, he still got it wrong. Maybe that's why I kind of like him, because he's like me, mispronouncing everything. But yeah, that's something that attracted me to the Samurai Quest, is how their whole thing is purging evil, essentially going around being your, I wouldn't say necessarily a stereotypical superhero. Most superheroes don't kill the villains, but I digress. So that attracted me to the story already. That was got me hooked, and it only gets better from there. So back to the third eye thing. In PvP, the skill is similar. Matter of fact, I can check right now. I just remembered. I don't need to be there to check. And yeah, that's my rank, because I literally only did PvP once, way back in Stormblood, at the end of Stormblood, before Shadowbringers came out. I mentioned why and how back in the day. But yeah. Let's see, where is it? I think this is it. No, that's not it. That's not it either. Yeah, in case it wasn't obvious that I don't play PvP that often. Oh, there it is. Funnily enough, I knew what the icon was, but for some reason I couldn't see it. It's like a samurai reaching for their sword, but there's still slashes all around them. But read what that effect does. And that's probably where I was getting the 5 seconds confused with. It gives them the debuff Kusushi, which I will definitely show you what that's all about. Well, I can't because it'll be on a practice dummy, but I'll show you what it ties into when we go through the Wolves Den. So yeah, I wish Third Eye kind of was a mixture of that skill and Crest of Borrowed Time. I think it'd be excellent, absolutely excellent. Another redeeming factor, I'm curious how much it actually does. Another redeeming factor for Third Eye is it's on a very short cooldown. It's only 15 seconds, so that is good. But, and 10% is also pretty good too. It doesn't feel like it. It feels less than that, if I'm being honest. It feels more like 5%, like people who have used Passage of Arms. It says it does so much defensive buffing when you're standing in the AoE, but I swear, man, sometimes it feels like you take more damage. I wouldn't be surprised if it was bugged back in the day, because it didn't feel like it did much of anything, but I digress. Oh, Wyman. Yeah, he's a information broker, but again, he's all on about his money. Keep that in the back of your skulls. Alright, it's like they say the same thing. Also, I should also mention that I said before that samurai is kind of like superheroes that go around dispensing justice, but they kill their enemies. That's not 100% true, as you'll see eventually. I believe, yeah, they're gonna say the same thing. Well, I was gonna say, Momoziki, is that his name? No, Momozigo. He will say the same thing, but Musosai clearly won't. Now I believe he'll say the same thing. Well, no, technically no. Alright. Which is happening right over here. Momozigo, maybe you should not cash checks we're not ready to, write checks we're not ready to cash. Awfully eager to spill blood, ain't he? This is the part where you apologize for being such a hothead, Momozigo. Also, I think we're a little behind. These guys are not going to get to live to show you what I want to show you. So instead, I'll just do what I plan to do. Because despite reliving the story, when it comes to open world things, your level is not synced down. You'll see what I'm getting at in just a second. The brass blades are infamous for being corrupted. Infamous. Like, you can't take them seriously. Well, not necessarily seriously, but you really can't rely on too many of them at all. Right. So, this is the benefit for not being desynced. Yeah. Good question. Yeah, quite easily, in fact. I guess maybe we don't immediately kill them because they're such wusses, but also because they haven't drawn steel. And you know, samurai do have a code of honor. I doubt even Musa, well, let me not speak too soon. I was going to say maybe he won't kill them unless they actually have their weapons drawn. But anyway, I feel like I'm still forgetting something. I hate that feeling. Oh yes, let me point this out. This line right here plays a large factor in how I play my actual samurai. Like, despite having one of the best sprinting, if not the best, weapon-drawn sprinting animation in the game, I always keep this thought in mind and never just do it randomly. Or because I can. Yeah, quite far from super clean indeed. Oh, and for those who don't know, this Lollipop right here, I already forgot his name, I wasn't paying attention, but he does play a major part in the early parts of the game. I think it only applies if you start in Ulma, because I only ever started, I'm not sure if I ever started in Limsa before. I want to say yes, back when I started as a Marauder, and I do remember starting in Gridania as a Lancer for Dragoon and Warrior for Limsa, Laminsa. But I always end up starting in Ul'dah, which is my favorite city, and it does have one of my favorite DPSs, well, was one of my favorites. That eventually led to Road, which is also why I started there, but let's get back on track. Oh, no wonder I didn't remember his name. Fufu Lupa. But yeah, this is cool too, how he does this. Yeah, he can sense not just where the wind's blowing, that's not too big of a deal, but he can sense where it's blowing to or from. In this case, it's a Limsa, and I just think that's so cool he can do that. Oh, I remember kind of what I was saying. So Memento used to be a pirate, or not necessarily a pirate city. Actually, now that I brought the sprint up, check this out. See what I mean? Is that not one of, if not the coolest sprinting, drawn weapon sprinting animations you've ever seen? I kind of wish they did this normally. It was just done a bit slower. Thankfully, Zio doesn't clip here. She also doesn't clip when she runs like this. This one obviously looks worse if it wasn't for the fact that you have that cloak going on in the back. But, yeah. I was saying earlier about Third Eye and whatnot. I was kind of hoping she'd still be there and she'd like be able to talk to, but nah, she's not here. Oh right, we go to Limsa. For a split second I thought we had to go talk to them again. That's something else that was new to me somewhat, doing these quests. And Samurai 1 specifically, is you didn't have to backtrack to where the quest started. You had to go somewhere else. Yeah, that was an adjustment. anyway for like the third time. Third eye. You know how like samurais are infamously stereotypical of being able to do things like block bullets and arrows with their swords. So I really, really wish the skill did more than just 10% damage reduction and 10 to the Genki gauge. Oh, I do remember one other thing. Back in my last 2 streams, whose name was I mispronouncing wrong? I did it twice, and I know I did it, but I chose not to prep myself because I just didn't feel like being bothered, which is weird for me. I don't know why I didn't. I should have. But of course, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember who it was, but there was a name or a location I pronounced wrong. I knew that I did, but I didn't prep myself. And it bugged me the longer it went on until eventually I just like, oh, whatever. But no, I should have corrected myself. What was it? I was thinking about it earlier today, and I knew what it was, but now I don't. Yeah, that's annoying. Oh well, no, I'm not going to let that ruin my little stream here. I love Samurai, and I'm not going to let my train wreck of a memory ruin that for me, or you, my precious, precious audience of 0. Not the cool cucumber 0, but the actual number 0. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I remember talking to this Lullafell, but after that line, I was like, oh yeah, I remember you. Also, it's nice that I can talk to these random people, but, well, you know. So stupid. I'll obviously do it when the time comes. Thankfully my gear is perfectly fine. Didn't really do too much of anything besides one mighty swath through those 3 soldiers. Oh, sorry, they weren't even really called soldiers. Thieves, crooks, good for nothings. This is also a very interesting point in the story for Samurai, because something I guarantee none of you ever expected was going to happen. Well, unless you play the story, of course. So he used the sword for sushi? I'm kind of surprised about that. You'd think he'd have like a little knife. Like, I thought that's what that thing was, the little scroll-looking thing, but clearly it isn't. Back when I first saw the outfit, I mean, I thought it was some kind of knife, but again, it clearly is not a knife. I want to say it's a scroll, but it also looks like it's just there for decoration, or maybe it's a whetstone for the samurai sword. I don't know. But, okay, Musosai, I honestly don't remember that line. I don't think I talked to Momozigo last time I did this. Man, that's making me hungry for some fish now, though. All I had was like a single carrot. See what I mean? I love that. I love that's the samurai thing. Exercising evil. Banishing evil. I love that. The mellow packet. Oh man, I'm gonna have to try to remember that and call them that. That's so good. The mellow packet. Yeah, I love that line of his. Such evil cannot be suffered. Suffered being allowed, by the way. I know most people, when they think of suffering, they think of pain and anguish, but at its root, suffer just means allow, or to allow, or allowed, depending on how it's used. Oh, speaking of things that people have been, or rather things I've been mispronouncing but didn't correct myself, unless I myself am wrong, and I guess that's possible too. Just for yucks, I was looking up some Ruby weapon fights because I wanted to see people's reaction to the special surprise inside Ruby weapon. But at the beginning of the quest, they all, I mean all of them, I watched like 5 or 6 different people, and they all pronounced War Machina as War Machina. And maybe I'm the one who's wrong, because I don't see how many people could say it like that and they all be wrong. So maybe I'm the one that's wrong, but I could have swore it was pronounced Machina. War Machina, not Machina. But maybe I'll Google it later and find out. Alrighty then, so now we're hunting for a murderer. A serial killer even, so not just a murderer, a serial killer. Yeah, I remember what this is. This is at the market. Well, as long as they don't bring up fish again, I think I'll be okay. I hope I'm able to get up early enough tomorrow to run my roulettes. I'm going to try to double down on the points. If it wasn't getting a little late, I actually would run the new raid. I haven't ran it yet, so I could do it now. But not now, but you know, later tonight. Try to get it out before the reset. But honestly, I don't think it's going to be worth it. I think I'll just take my time and do it sometime after reset. Oh man, yeah, speaking of which, I'm going to have to wait for everybody to load in. Okay, the glam's not bad. Kind of reminds me of my friend Rella. She's really good at making glamours. The one she's currently using, last I saw her, was I almost said pugilist, monk, and she was looking like Sakura from Street Fighter. I'm assuming they're all going to say the same thing. Oh, look at that. There they are. I wish that it would keep raining for when we inevitably get to the main part, but sadly I have a feeling it won't. I feel like the weather is set. Not wrong. I kind of wish I talked to them in the order. That's what I did last time. I just wasn't paying attention again. But the order's kind of funny when you talk to Musosai, then Momozigo. Or at least to me it is. Seems like it is. Testing. Testing. Alright, I figured out what it is. It's my stupid mic. Gotta try to put it in a certain way to where it's not constantly like... It's not even really the mic, it's the cord of the mic, and when it like touches my body, that wiggles the metal rod, whatever the heck that thing is called, and that makes the noise you guys are hearing. So that's super obnoxious. We're gonna have to get like a wireless mic at some point. Really need one. I would use my PlayStation one, but I think that one is actually dead, even though I haven't used it. It's not working at all, so sucks. quick earn. That's pretty funny. I believe they're, well, I'm about to say it doesn't matter, it's going to show me. Yep. I was saying, I believe it's at the Fisherman's Guild, which, again, makes me hungry, but I will persevere. I'm going to try to do the entire Samurai quest and not just stop at 50. But my mic doing what it's doing is admittedly annoying me, because I know it's got to be annoying y'all. And like I said, I can only be perfectly still for so long, you know. But yeah, in addition to there being a serial killer, that's not quite the surprise I was telling you all about, one I doubt you would expect. That's about to be made known. This is the way he like turned around and ran off. Laughable. You see what I mean? How no one corrects him? That kind of adds to the humor, if you ask me. Also, going by that cutscene, I wasn't quite paying attention. I'm guessing, yeah, it has to. It has to. I was thinking about when we get to the main attraction. Also, I knew this was going to happen, because usually if it's raining in Limsa, then it is absolutely storming out here in Costa del Sol. As humorous as it is, it will also kind of ruin the cutscene, because the guy we're about to go talk to is kind of, well, he's supposed to be sunbathing, but, I mean, so that makes it a little inappropriate, if anything. I mean, I love the rain too, but not quite that much. He remembers us. Supremely forgiving. Oh, you flatterer. You hear that, Momozigo? Musasai actually apologizes when he's wrong. Yeah, the dude's surprisingly, well, I was gonna say surprisingly smart in some ways, but he has to be this rich, you know? That does take some level of cunning, so I can't say I'm too surprised. Also, I wasn't going to bother mentioning this, but she just happens to have it. I was planning on going after that hairstyle, but declined for two reasons. One, Auras don't have the traditional ears, so hairstyles that are that close to the skin don't look that good. And secondly, the ponytail's a bit too high. For my liking, I should say. If that's your jig, then by all means go for it, but not me. Speaking of which, that is something I was thinking about. I do kind of wish Auras had traditional ears and their horns were just in front of or behind their ears, depending on the type of, you know, horns you have. That way you kind of get the best of both worlds. You'll still see they have ears in Zio's case behind her horns. And from the front, it'll still look like this, which admittedly does look good. But alas, we all can't be creative geniuses. And he got changed quick, didn't he? Yeah, that's what I thought. Unfortunately, it doesn't lock in the weather, because this would actually be a really cool encounter. I mean, there's no point trying to hide it now, considering what just happened, but it'd be a really cool encounter if it was actually raining during the fight, but oh well. And many a times have I watched this cutscene, but sadly, if you go to your journal, this is all you get from it. Well, up till the battle, I should say. Yeah, Musosai, he's all but certain this is the one. And, lucky for us, he all but admits to it. Yeah, see, there you go. Oh, that's another thing I should mention. I wasn't joking when I said it. I do find Musasai endearing when he mispronounces things, but he's also he has like a whole bunch of epic one-liners. The law is too good for the likes of you. That's a great line. As well as the one that came after it. Oh, that food. I do love how he considers himself an upstanding citizen right after admitting that he's killed people. It's people like that that gets on my nerve the most. Well, yeah, hypocrites, liars. Really apples and oranges, really, but they both can't stand either one, which is why I try to avoid being one, especially a hypocrite. I think a liar is worse because they intentionally try to deceive you, to hurt you. Hypocrites is usually done out of ignorance, but they can be just as bad, if not worse, when they are willfully ignorant of their hypocrisy. Of course, when he said upstanding citizen, I doubt he really meant it. He was just trying to be funny. But some people really are like that. Yeah, this is when I first realized the outfit could be dyed. Actually, no, let me rephrase that. I think it might have been the first time I realized it was dyed, but how did I think about it? I'm trying to remember now. Such a long time ago. Because in the Stormblood cutscene, you see that it's red, but I figured it was red just because Muso's size looks so good on him. I figured that might have been how it originally looks. And then I saw this dude has a blue one and a cowboy hat. Oh, I know what it was. I didn't know what the true color was, I believe, because by this time in the game, you can easily get your class gear, signature class gear, and are able to dye it with certain items. So him wearing a blue one was surprising, but not, impossible to comprehend, or do, for that matter. I'm pretty sure someone out there has cosplayed as this guy. Oh yeah, and again, that was a really good line too. Seems the difference is lost on the man. We must wake him from his ignorance. Or something to that effect. Now this is something I don't remember, because I've obviously done this back when I was a male Lalafell. I don't remember if him saying Kiritsutsi, or that, at the end is gender specific, because I feel like he said something different last time, but it's been too long, so I don't remember. Alright, Leo, get him. I do how like knockoff shinobi they look, especially once you go to Stormblood and see what actual shinobi look like and behave. Yugiri is an excellent example. She was the one I couldn't remember last time. I was trying to remember her name, another voice actor. That was a new voice actor because something horrifically tragic happened to the original one. But yeah, Yugiri was the other one. Oh, another thing I wish it was timed instead of just for a single hit, because 4 seconds of 10% damage mitigation, that actually sounds really good. Also, here's the thing I wanted to show you guys. Tenkin Goken is not a cone anymore. It's a circle. I have mixed feelings about that because I believe the cone one had a longer range, but I can see why they did it. Because these two moves right here are circle. So chances are when you're using them, you're going to be in here. So it stands to reason why this one is also circle. But I still kind of prefer the cone because the cone will keep you out of damage. Unlike these two, you still move around freely while doing these. But when you're doing the other ones, or when you're unleashing the store power of your katana, you can't move. It's literally like you're casting a spell. You can't move. So you're in harm's way when you're charging up to unleash the attack. That's not that big of a deal when it's a cone, when you don't have to worry about 6 enemies using their AoEs on you at the same time. Yeah, Moozleside is just gonna like cut them to pieces. I'm gonna have to pay attention to this thing. It has invisible AoEs, so you know those are always fun. Now that one's really hard to see because the tail is wagging. That one's really tricky to see, but it's not too bad. I guess it would help if I change the angle because his tail kind of blends in with the that hanging thing up there. There we go. That's actually from Hiragashi, or at least the Far East, I should say. Hiragashi might be the wrong area, but that creature is from the Far East. Look at that, Rage of Halon with a katana. That looks so awkward. Yeah, as you can see, he was not joking about being a gladiator. He's literally just using it. And you can see why that wouldn't work. That's like the one move he has. That's actually samurai-like. And you see what I mean? I'd much rather we had still kept that one. Like, look at that range. That's actually, I think that's still, like, from a range perspective, I think that's actually still bigger than, actually it could just be his uniquely, but either way, it's definitely bigger than our Tenkin Goken. I'm gonna try to finish him with the flashy one. Yeah, that'll do. Nice. Also, we need to unlock that pose. That samurai pose right there, that needs to be unlocked for samurais. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised we don't already have it, since we have the adjusting glasses emote even when you're not wearing glasses, but it sounds like it's raining. Or was that just wind? Yeah, I guess it was wind. Oh wow, that's a pretty scenery. He's at least gonna die on a beautiful night. Yeah, I love that line too. Unrepentant fiend, you belong not in a goal, but in hell. Say your prayers, whoever comma you keep. That second sentence is especially good. See what I mean? He's like that grandpa that mispronounces things the youngsters say, but he can still kick your ass 7 ways to Sunday. That's interesting that he says that too. Yeah, I guess that makes it more interesting. Is he's not reading where the wind's blowing from? You know, like, oh, okay, the wind is like kind of cool and it smells a bit salty. It's coming from the sea. No, it's leading him to the destination. So it's not that he's smelling a forest, but he can tell it's leading to a forest. That just makes it more interesting, you know. But yeah, that statement he meant about you don't need to befoul your blade with scum such as this, I'm unfortunately going to most likely forget, but I will endeavor to remember when the time comes. But just remember that seems like a castaway line, and honestly it probably is, but I found a way to tie it into something later. Alright, to Gridania. And Zeo's armor is still in pretty much prime condition. Prime condition. Channeling my inner Musosai. Oh, I nearly forgot. This is technically irrelevant, but I just want to share it in the off chance she watches it. One of my friends actually came to say hi to me right after I had ended that quest. They were waiting for me, or she was waiting for me, so that was a nice, pleasant surprise. You know who you were, don't you? Yeah, it always warms my heart to see new players in this game. Even if they're, what's the term? Smurfs. Even if they're Smurf accounts, it's still nice to see. Just because more people are playing the game. Oh, look at Momozigo. I didn't want to say anything earlier, but that one Lalafell that Musosai cleaved in twain, his, crap, what are those things called? Yeah, that's a good hairstyle. Too bad more races don't have that. It's, it's not a kimono. Those are the ones only the women wear, isn't it? I'm not sure. Well, whatever it was. His yellow one made me think of spaghetti, but that could also just be because I'm hungry. That has nothing to do with anything. Just thought I'd share. He ran off so fast. Alright, so now Momozigo has gone missing. That's not it. There we go. Also, I should mention this now. The emblem for Samurai, I had no idea what it was when I first started playing. I think most people didn't, because I remember someone asking about it some time ago. But it's supposed to be the hilt of the samurai sword, or blade, or whatever you really want to call it. It's the in-between part between the handle and the blade. That's what it is. As if you were looking at the blade itself, like straight on, it was pointed at you, you would see that. It's the hilt. I think they just say the same thing. Nope. Let me read that again. Alright, the next guy is going to be over here delivering some kind of sermon about how useless the elementals are. Yeah, I was actually going to point him out. I was like, yeah, he actually fell asleep. I think the last one, oh yeah. Also, there's something I actually want to get from her. I don't know if I can because of New Game Plus. Yeah, I didn't think so. Can't do it while we're on this mission. That's fine. I meant to do it like days ago, but of course I kept forgetting. The addled mess. I think another thing that makes it funnier is Musosai himself doesn't stop and ask something like, "Wow, that's a strange name for that place, isn't it?" To be fair, the Drowning Winch is a strange name, and there is a reason it's called that. But you get what I'm saying, right? Musosai doesn't question it. No one corrects him, so it's just funny. Icky souls. So again, it's just funny. It's funnier in text actually. So it's not even icky souls, like your soul. It's basically like icky shoes, which is even funnier. Well, gonna have to move again. Starting to get uncomfortable playing statue for like an hour straight. I can deal with the hunger, I'm very confident I can do the entire samurai quest up to, it finishes. But it's just sitting this way for so long is starting to get uncomfortable. I really need to focus on getting a new mic, which will hopefully happen this month, if not next year. Exactly as they predicted. So cool. Can't help but notice that one is a cone, but nah, should have read that. Let's see. Now we get his little backstory and something pretty cool samurais can do. Again, another reason why I love this job. I just didn't like it as much as Ninja. From a story perspective, I obviously loved it more. From a gameplay perspective, I like Ninja more. But after what they've done to Ninja and everything Samurai can do now, I'm definitely leaning towards Samurai again. Yeah, it's almost like your wanton desire to just spread justice with no questions asked was stemming from personal guilt. How about that? See why I said you should keep that in mind earlier with the money. He said the line. I am kind of surprised Zio just stood there, though. She wasn't, like, surprised or anything. Just looked at him. He nodded. And then... Yeah, this is the first time he mentions Kogoroshi. Or Kogarashi. That's probably pronounced way. English language as a whole can be hard sometimes, especially words that are pronounced one way, even though they look like pronounced another. Keep in mind, I had done the Dragoon quest with Estinian up to this point, so I was ready to go to fight this people of his, which is a great battle, I should add. Also, I just want to point out the robe that Musosai is wearing. It does clip when you walk in it, which again is terribly unfortunate. I know literally no one but me cares, but I told you, I only complain about things that I don't like or should not be. Why would you design an outfit that you know clips as hard as it does? The reason why Zio's clips as bad as it does is because the pants she has on. That can actually be fixed. Her shoes still clip. Wish it didn't do that, but that's a little more forgivable. But with Musosai's robe, even if you wear no pants at all, you will still clip through that some glitch. So why would you not fix that? I'm hoping when Final Fantasy XIV gets their graphical rehaul, provided of course that wasn't just some elaborate prank, I'm hoping they fix a lot of that stuff, because a lot of the outfits I would wear I just don't, because I don't want to clip through them. Some are more forgivable than others, but Kogarashi. I want to say it's Kogoroshi. That just feels like it's more correct, but whatever. Oh. Dang it, I meant to talk to Musosai. Man, I got distracted talking about clipping. I didn't get to talk to Musosai. And I don't remember what he says there either. Dang it. Yeah, I can't blame that one on the game. That one's definitely just squarely on my shoulders. Just should have been paying more attention. Which could have easily been done. It's not like I'm really entertaining anybody. There's no one here but me. So, a few seconds to just focus would not have been that big of a deal. Oh well. All I can do is move forward and hold that regret in our heart for the rest of our lives, right? Now this area is kind of weird. I think I know where he is. He's actually kind of like in the Forgotten Night area. Hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, I think he's in the Forgotten Night area, but he's like right outside of it. The Forgotten Night has like two entrances. One you can enter from the second story, and the other one is, yeah, right here. Yeah, Lalafels do not like the cold. Which is why I was so comfortable being one for a time. Alright, calm down, Momozigo. Exactly, it's still just a rumor. We don't know yet. So I know there's one there. I think there's one up there. And I believe there's one... Does it go this far? Nah, I must be thinking of something else. Yeah, I must be thinking of something else. Yeah, interesting point. No, there's Musosai. Is that Hinagashi? Has to be the entire area. Where is Momozigo? I think he might be over here. Yeah. See, this is the area there. This is the area I thought was over there. I thought it was over here. Because I knew there was a person over there. Here's Hilda, but guess what? Can't talk to her. Oh well. I'll admit, I'll spend a little bit of time trying to find Momozigo. Just because, you know, if I have the chance to talk to them before moving on, I should at least try to. But, he should be in that general area. Sorry. Throat's getting a little dry. He should be in that general area. So, let me just start from the top, try to find him real quick, and if I don't find him, we'll continue on. Because the longer I take, the more energy I lose, and I would like for all of this to be in one singular stream. It would have been kind of cool if he was inside, given how he hates the cold, so he'd be questioning people inside the tavern. But, Interesting. Some people do that for the opposite reason. We'll check over here. If I don't see him, then oh well. We'll just miss out on a little bit of commentary. But yeah, as I was saying, when she sprints, when her weapon is drawn, either sprinting or just normally running, no clipping. So there's that small mercy. Also, when she's fighting, it generally doesn't clip. Even more of a bigger mercy. Alright, so we can't find him, so either he's not here or he's just hidden in a crate somewhere. Yeah, see, that's really good to know. To be fair, his information wasn't really all that useful, but when you combine what she said and what the man down here said, it does kind of paint a clear picture. If they really wanted to kill themselves, why didn't they just jump from up there? And secondly, according to her, they didn't seem like the type to give up on life, let alone each other, which is a very big deal. So something's not adding up, is it, Musosai? Also, I need to check the journal. Ah, no wonder I couldn't find his big head. Yeah, I actually forgot about that. I forgot he was going to get attacked. On a frond. The fast fiddle. Like I said, man, he even knows what he's talking about. He's going to go exactly to where he says, despite the name he gave it. Yeah, I would not have gotten the last vigil from, what do you say, the fast fiddle? Yeah. Oh, there's Musosai and Honafrant. Oh, sorry, Honfrant. Frank? No, I think I said it right the first time. But who knows? Maybe Musosai is actually pronouncing it correctly. Slack eye on bridge. Right behind you, Musosai. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, man. He's such a cool character. First off, he's like, you know, if you want to switch off, then by all means. But first, answer me this. Clear your conscience. Then after doing so, he's like, well, here's some advice. You can always start again. You can make things right. Just such a cool dude. It's like that saying goes, power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. I always did like this area, despite, you know, the sheer cold, mostly because of this statue right here. There's just something so unironically cool about a dragoon wearing a cloak. Kind of like a Titan wearing a cloak in Destiny 2, aka Lord Saladin. I guess the opposite way of how you got up. I thought I did this already, and either you need to do something else, or maybe my Q popped or something. I'm surprised I haven't grabbed this already. Okay, yeah, that's why. You need to do something else. Yeah, whatever. No, you don't. Oh, right, I forgot. I don't even have to deal with this guy. Faster than he can even aim the gun, let alone pull the trigger. Oh, by the way, hare's ear is supposed to be Eorzea. It took me a while to figure out what he was talking about the first time. Heck, even now I kind of forgot what he meant until he said that sentence. Yes. Yeah, needless to say, much like Mozigo, even I started to catch on, something's not quite right with Musosai. Like, I can understand the first time, maybe just being tired. Well, to be fair, all of his excuses revolve around being tired, but it's starting to happen more and more frequently, and again, it's just not adding up, to put it simply. Like, yeah, he's old, but he's also very fit to be old. With him just constantly being tired, or rather, getting more and more tired, I should say, is a bit odd. I was going to try to run there, but... Oh, look at him. I was going to try to... I meant the Lalafels, by the way, not that thing. I actually just happened to notice what his name was right as I was like, oh, no, not that. Of all the things to cosplay as, and that's something, I've mentioned it before, that personally bothers me when people do cosplays. I guess they're doing that one to be funny, if you can call that funny. That's why I'm so proud of Zio here. She can be whatever I want her to be, because she's a completely original creation. But if I name myself Cloud Strife, you expect me to have blonde spiky hair, bright, almost glowing blue eyes, decently tall, slim, but muscular, and almost always maining Dark Knight, correct? You would not expect me to be called Cloud Strife, and then I main, oh, I don't know, Black Mage, and I look like Peter Griffin. It's like, if you're going to do it, if you're going to steal the name, then go the distance. Don't half-ass it. But whatever. Who knows what they're doing? I could be the one wrong. I'm just saying, generally speaking, if you're going to do that, then just go all the way. No, that's not good. Okay, Momozigo, I'm trusting you now. You need to watch Musosai. Make sure he doesn't wander off or something. Okay. Bro, you had one job, and I stopped talking to you like a second ago. How did you lose him that fast? Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen someone pronounce the location correctly, huh? So he didn't even take his medicine, huh? He just headed out. Oh, right, the journal. The face of true evil. It's taking a little longer than I thought. Let's see, if this took about, what, an hour, 2 hours? Then the rest of it should be more or less the same amount of time. Because, for better or for worse, the farther you get into the story, the more this job quests actually start to die off, to the point they basically just end in a glorified cutscene that you have to be that job for to see. Nice. Curs are us. Twin fools. Oh, he said the line. Alright, so we're finally going to fight this Kogarashi fellow. Kogarashi. I think I said it right. Have a hard enough time. Oh, yeah, right. The other Aetheryte's frozen over. That's kind of stupid. I wish they put more than one. Especially back when you couldn't immediately fly. Oh, man. Actually, no. No, we've gone this far. We might as well go ahead and finish it. I was going to do the random mount roulette. I was like, nah, not this time. Another thing about samurai, for those who... Now, this one should be obvious. Typically, I like to have the weapon hidden. That's another reason why I don't typically play samurais, because the way they work, I feel it's better if you keep the weapon out, which I typically don't like to do. So that's another reason why I didn't play the class that much. But as I said, with the majority of the changes they made, especially some new moves, I was like, yeah, I'll give them another chance. And thankfully, as I said in the past 2 streams, they're not as bad as I was initially led to believe. The things they changed were not as significant as, say, Ninja or Dark Knight, but to be fair, no class has been neutered as bad as Dark Knight, but I digress. Alright, Musosai, let's go take down Kogarashi. I like they make you answer as well. Bum, bum, bum. Dramatic reverb. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to pretend that I'm surprised. I only kind of like say certain things just to, at least misdirect you a little bit. I'm not going to walk up to Musosai. All right, Musosai, it's time to kill you. Let's go. I at least got to, play it up a little bit. But yeah, he is Kogarashi. Relatable. Aw. Yeah, and he's not kidding. Now, I'm going to go and say this right now because it's going to happen, but I wish this song kept playing. I believe it's called Breaking Boundaries or something along those lines. I would have called it something like Beyond Your Limits. Beyond Boundaries, was that it? It's something revolving around that effect. It's a nice nod to limit breaking. Just leave the name alone. Excuse me. I was fighting back a yawn. But, alright, let's do it. Now, I could just Enpai, but nah. We'll start honorably. We're going to go and use this now. Get an early health lead. God dang it, it fell off. Either it fell off or I didn't do it before. I was expecting that one to be ready. That move looks so much cooler when he does it. Also, remember what I said earlier about how he can like read the wind? So I think that's, again, a very nice touch. That he has these wind-based attacks. I haven't seen this AoE since Labyrinth of the Ancients. Oh, that's sad. Like, the music changes to signify, like, oh, he's getting real serious now. Which, I can appreciate that, but at the same time, I still prefer breaking boundaries. Or, again, that just sounds weird, because, boundaries and breaking them, so I do wish the name was a bit different. But the track is so powerful, like, it always resonated with me for Dragoon, because that was the first time I ever heard that track. I was one of the first of my friends to get to level 50 with their job, so it's always resonated with me for Dragoon. And of course it also applies here for Samurai, and definitely for Dark Knight. But I do hate that it changed, because this song is much lamer. It's not necessarily bad, just not as impactful, Not as tragic, if you will. I do need to be careful though, because last time I was here, I didn't underestimate him per se, but I don't think I was playing as carefully as I could have, because he nearly defeated me. Like, I might have been taking too many unnecessary risks. Like that right there. Like, if I had stayed still, I would have gotten hit by that whirlwind. I think last time I didn't move or wasn't paying attention or something along those lines. Alright, we're going to try to finish it coolly. I don't think he has enough health, though. Actually, no, he might. It's probably like just, but I think he does have enough health. Okay, good, he does. Rest in peace, Musosai. You guys see what I mean about how great the Samurai Quest is, at least the first 50 levels? The second part is also really good, which is more than I can say for Dark Knight. Not that it's bad, I just feel this one is more, I almost said more better. It's just better. Oh, look at that, it's even dusk. Come on, man. And I know this one is, oh, wait, is it? Because now I think about it, this is also on the thumbnail, so either this is some really good timing, or it's actually meant to be this way. I honestly don't remember. I want to say it is, because I feel like I've seen it like this before. for those who don't know, and you don't have to believe me, I do take these jobs very seriously, as I might have alluded to or even shown before. With samurai, many times, I even have pictures to prove it back when I was using them as thumbnails, well not thumbnails, but profile pictures and whatnot. Some of them have actually been me standing by Musasai's sword, because it's actually physically there in the game. It's not just there as a cutscene. And it actually gets made relevant, rather, I guess that word works too, later in the samurai story quest. So that's also obviously a good thing. How was Endeavor? Even though I felt I could do it, much like Musosai, who at least had the excuse of old age, my stamina has started to fail me as well, so I'm thinking I'll end the stream after this, get something to eat, and then go to bed, because I really do need to get up early before the reset happens, in addition to other duties I have starting this week, actually. Hey, there's a Azor member. I actually kind of know them. Just forgot to check the journal. We'll do that in a second. We'll just skip by this. Yeah, way to ruin the moment. Actually, yeah, that's two things we'll do. When was the last time you guys seen one of these? That's also why meditate is such a big deal ability for me, because it's the last one you get from Musosai. Momozigo has changed his outfit. So yeah, we'll we'll do Samurai tomorrow. God willing, we'll do it and finish it tomorrow. And then after that, I'll show you the PvP thing. I'm not going to do PvP. Absolutely not. I just wanted to show you some of the skills you get in PvP. Ones I wish carried over into PvE. Now, I can understand why some of them aren't. Like, now this one, I'll be honest, I generally do not remember, because back when I did PvP, I was playing, I'm on the wrong side. Back when I did PvP, I was a gunbreaker, so I wasn't even using the broken tanks. I was being a gunbreaker, and so I didn't really use my limit break that often. But PvP has changed, so I don't remember if we actually could do this back then. But from what I see, each class has their own limit break. I don't know if it's an individual limit break, so if you're in a team of like 4 or 8 or what have you, each and every one of you has your own limit break, or if it's still shared amongst you all. It's just a single bar this time, so it's quicker to use than, you know, having to fill up 2 or 3 or 1. No, what am I saying? 2 or 3. I'm starting to ramble. The hunger is getting to me. Also, we need to be going this way. And that's what I mean. Like, either that was really good timing, or is meant to be that way. Because you see, it's pretty much the same time of day as it was in that cutscene. And don't worry, we'll do Mount Roulette next time. I just feel this is the most appropriate mount for samurai. That or some kind of horse. But yeah, I know my friend Eternia can definitely testify. Best friend even. Because she has actually, wrong side, she has actually seen me by the sword. It's behind this building. See? And I would stand on this side near the bush and typically have it like facing that way. One of them, as a matter of fact, was in the rain, which is obviously one I'm very proud of. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Tomorrow we'll wrap up Samurai for good. I don't know when I'll start on Dark Knight, but I absolutely will. I know I'm forgetting something, but I'll just have to try to remember to talk about it next time. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you next time. See you around.